Million Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram during the summer clearance event.
15 greatest acts of all time.
This is a big deal.
AGT, Tuesday.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the 4...
Hurry! Clearance time ends August 3rd. Drive strong at Billion Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or BillionAuto.com.
The First Alert Weather Team, only on Dakota News Now.
Promotional consideration paid for by Schulte Subaru, Avera Orthopedics, South Dakota Office of Highway Safety.
There's miles of fun ahead.
It's our salute to Denver, and it starts now.
From Sioux Falls, South Dakota, KSOO TV on Channel 13.
That is the sound of 60 years of television, 6 decades of you welcoming us into your home. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Allen.
And I'm Mark Ovenden. Thanks for joining us for this Dakota News Now special. This summer, both KSFY and KDLT are celebrating 60 years on the air.
Over the next half hour, we, along with some other familiar faces, will be taking a look back. We'll hear from some of the people who have defined these stations.
We'll relive some of the biggest stories we've covered and take a look at how some things have changed while other things stay the same.
While KSFY and KDLT only united under the Dakota News Now banner earlier this year, the stations actually have a shared history that dates back to their very foundations. Television's roots reach further back in history than you might think. The first station, WRGB, actually began broadcasting in New York back in 1928, though it was essentially an experimental station run by General Electric. However, it wasn't until after World War II that the technology really took off. But it took some time to get here.
In those days, there was not the nationwide cable.
Network transmission lines crept across the country, connecting cities where affiliates began springing up. Often it was radio stations that founded those new TV affiliates, and it just so happened that 2 enterprising radio businessmen had the idea to try their hand at television in Mitchell.
A man by the name of Ray Epple started KORN Radio and decided he needed to put a TV station together.
He called it KORN TV, which, just like his radio station, was named after the city's most famous landmark.
Ray was a smart businessman.
And in Sioux Falls, Mort Hankin founded KSOO TV. SOO as in Sioux Falls. It was also named after his radio station. His wife Sylvia played a big part in early station operation. On June 12, 1960, KORN's first broadcast. And just weeks later, on July 30th.
Where fields of grain ripen in the South Dakota sun, where growing corn turns our fields lush green, comes a new television signal. For on this day, to country and village, town and city, comes the sight and sound of KSOO television. We welcome you, as we ask you to welcome us in your home.
KSOO took the airwaves. From the start, the stations enjoyed a special connection.
And they were both NBC affiliates when they went on the air and did a lot of cooperative things together in serving the area.
They actually split up their coverage area and operated as a regional network. KORN in the west, KSOO in the east. That lasted until 1969, when the FCC scuttled the agreement and KORN became an ABC affiliate. So as we just saw, the station's founders thought they could better serve the area by working together. Later in this special, we'll examine how that idea has come full circle with the formation of Dakota News Now.
I'm Carlene Wild at the site of KSOO TV's original headquarters. And as we mentioned before, both stations were born out of radio stations. It makes sense. They were in the broadcasting world already. Both had technicians and people comfortable with being on air. But there was a lot of learning to be done, and one common theme emerged.
It starts out basically we can take a breath.
We would improvise a lot.
Making it up as you go. It's a familiar line you hear in live television.
It was an adventure.
Both Apple and Henkin had experience putting content on the air, but television was a different animal.
Of course, before we meet some of those who
been associated with the establishment of KSOO television.
Hagen's daughter, Susan McGowan, worked as a receptionist during the crossover and saw some issues firsthand.
Then the job was, as far as my father was concerned, was to get some of those radio people and put them on TV. Well, very few of them were interested because you had to dress up when you were on television.
Dean Sorensen was one radio announcer who eventually agreed to put on a tie and get in front of the camera at KORN.
It was a learning experience. It was a lot of fun, and we were providing some new service and a new media.
Ray Loftusness, Sylvia Henkin, Ken Graham, and Ken Hirsch were among early on-air hosts at KSOO. These pioneers covered many stories, like a momentous gathering at the 1960 National Plowing Contest near Sioux Falls.
The three-day event brought both Democratic presidential candidate Senator John F. Kennedy and Republican presidential candidate Vice President Richard Nixon to Sioux Falls for major addresses.
While Mitchell native Senator George McGovern made frequent appearances on KORN, speaking about his opposition to the Vietnam War.
To those who think that we serve our troops best by simply urging them on to a larger and larger war effort, let me say that it is the troops who will die and not the cheerleaders.
The entire KSOO TV staff was on hand.
And of course, elections, our first in 1960.
Channel 13 never went off the air that night.
A dedication we hold to this day.
I'm Phil Schreck. It wasn't just news being produced. While some programs came from national networks like ABC's The Lawrence Welk Show, affiliates like KSOO and KORN produced a lot of their own entertainment content. And with limited resources, they had to be creative.
Live music was a staple in early programs, a radio staple that also worked on TV. Other radio programs were arguably a less natural fit.
The trading post is open.
A program hosted by Red Stanglin, where people could try and sell or trade or almost anything.
Said that he'd like to swap postage stamps and mailing service to State College Laboratory for soil samples taken from your fields this fall. Well, this is a new one on me.
Kids programs were popular.
And this is Miss Carolyn saying hello to all my friends here with me today and to all my friends at home. I'm so happy to see you by your TV set this morning. Are you ready to play our singing games with us today?
On KSOO, Romper Room with Miss Carolyn blended fun with education. The station also had its own version of Bozo the Clown. KORN TV also tried its hand in kids programming.
They had Bouncy Bunny, who was, I don't think it was Ethel's wife, I can't remember, but this woman in this rabbit suit doing sort of the Captain Kangaroo thing. It was really, really early television.
There was also Colonel Corn. Kids from all over would visit the studio to be part of the show. His uniform is occasionally on display at the Mitchell Area Historical Society, and he hosted some famous guests.
When the Three Stooges came to town to play the Corn Palace one year, they were the headliner. Well, then they came on the Colonel Corn show live.
Colonel Corn was brought to life by Watertown native George Bloom.
We're about 10 minutes in, but we're only about 10 years through our history. Still ahead, early technology made putting on a newscast quite a challenge. A look at how it's changed over the years. Next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Berman, President and General Manager of the stations that were once known as KSOO and KORN. Now, there's nothing wrong with your TV sets. So to give you that retro feel, we decided to do this spot in black and white and do it live. Because that's the way many TV commercials were done when our stations made their debut 60 years ago. We hope you're enjoying this special look back. On behalf of all of our staff, past and present, we want to thank you for watching and supporting our stations all these years. Now, as many of you know, 60 years means that this is our diamond anniversary. So we are thrilled to be able to partner with the Diamond Room and give one lucky viewer the opportunity to win a pair of diamond stud earrings. And our winner is Sarah Brown. Congratulations, Sarah, and thanks to our good friends at the Diamond Room for providing this wonderful gift. Our special anniversary celebration will continue after these words from our sponsors.
It's anniversary time here at Carl's.
And in celebration of 64 years, dinner's on us.
Save up to 40% on appliances.
They get a steak dinner for two.
This LG French door refrigerator is just $9.99.
Plus get a steak dinner for two.
70-inch and larger TVs are on sale.
Get a steak dinner for two.
Save on grills, mattresses, and furniture too during Carl's 64th anniversary sale.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.